Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Chavi, your pol science teacher. As you all know that we are doing chapter 3, election and representation. This is part 5 of this chapter. Before I start with today's lecture, I request you all please do like, share and subscribe this channel to remain updated with all the latest videos. In our previous video, we learned about many things like meaning of election, representative, FPTP, PR system, reserve constituencies, etc. Today we will start with free and fair elections. As you know, election is a central feature of any democracy, and India is a democratic country. Elections actually help us to choose our representative by casting vote. And when it is a very important feature, it needs to be free and fair. But a free and fair means that all eligible, the ones who are above the age of 18 are eligible to cast the vote and choose their representative. And they must be free to make their choice, means whosoever they like, they can cast the vote to that particular candidate. So today we will learn that our constitution has listed many provisions to have free and fair elections. And we will learn about the two important measures taken for this. The first one is universal adult franchise and right to contest. And the second one is Election Commission of India. So today we will learn about these two in detail. So our first measure is universal adult franchise and right to contest. Firstly, as I already explained in my previous video about the meaning of universal adult franchise, you can check it from there. In short, universal adult franchise means that adults above the age of 18 have the right to vote in election irrespective of their color, caste, creed, gender, etc. And right to contest means that in a democratic election, people have a real choice. And this happens only when there are almost no restrictions on anyone to contest an election. So beta understand that anyone who can be a voter can also become a candidate in election. The only difference, there is only one difference, that in order to be a candidate, the minimum age is 25 years, while it is only 18 years for being a voter. There are some other restrictions on criminals, etc., but these apply in very extreme cases. Every person who wishes to contest an election has to fill a nomination form and give some money as a security deposit, and in that form he has to give some details of his assets, liabilities, his or her family member, serious criminal cases like for contesting an Lok Sabha election. There is also a legal restriction that anybody who have undergone imprisonment of 2 or more years cannot contest election. Another criteria is education qualification. But educational qualification for candidates and for the voters is not considered important, because we are living in a democratic country and putting an educational qualification barrier would go against the spirit of democracy. It means if we will put this kind of barrier, it would mean depriving a majority of the country's citizens the right to contest and to vote elections. So education qualification is not compulsory, and because of this, our constitution makers actually given all the adult citizens the right to vote, because according to them everyone knows that what is good for the country and what is bad for the country. So this is all about universal adult franchise and right to contest. This cartoon is given on page number 67 of your book. In this it is written that why is universal adult franchise compared to an elephant? So students, I've written the answer along with that, because adult citizens are mature enough to elect and to contest in elections. Like elephant is a heavy animal. You can't change its direction. The same with that. The same with the voters. They can easily check the progress of the countries, and it is very difficult for the political parties who are not doing any good work for them to change their choice. So this is why, or this is the reason, the elephant is basically related with the adult voter in the picture. So the another measure to understand the free and fair election is election commission. The most and very simple way of checking whether the elections are fair or not is to look at that who conducts the election. To have free and fair elections, our constitution has created an independent body to look at the functioning of elections in India, and it is called Election Commission. Article 324 provides for an independent election commission. So it is actually headed by the CEC. CEC means Chief Election Commissioner. Along with that, two additional commissioners were appointed to the commission for the first time on 16th October 1989, and this turned the election commission from a single to a multi-member body. And since then, the decisions by the commission are made by a majority vote. At the state level, the EC is assisted by the Chief Electoral Officer of the state, who actually looks after the local elections. So remember, they are appointed by the President of India for 6 years of tenure or continue till the age of 65, whichever is earlier. It is really impossible to remove the CEC from its post, even if the ruling party or the government does not like, but the commission does. It is virtually impossible for it to remove the CEC. It can only be removed by the wish by the president, and if both the House of Parliament make such a recommendation with a special majority. The different functions which are performed by the Election Commission is: first, updates the voters list; second, ensures that voters list is free of errors. Like you must have heard several times that there is inclusion of false name and exclusion of genuine names in the voter list. So this is a duty of the Election Commission to look after this particular errors. It determines timings of election and prepares election schedule. It ensures that elections are free and fair, and it can postpone or cancel the election in the entire country for a specific state. It implements a model code of conduct. Model code of conduct, you must have studied in your ninth class, that in this it puts certain kind of guidelines to prevent and misuse of government power to enhance its chance to win. Like they can't bribe or threaten the voters. They can't appeal to them in the name of caste or religion. No political party can use government resources for election campaign, and many more. And this model code of conduct was prepared by the EC. It accords recognition to political parties and allots election symbols to each of them. As you know that because of the election symbols, we recognize that this is the political party and this is related to this particular political party. Like lotus is related to BJP, while hand symbol is related with Congress. So these are the things to be done by the election commission. Sometimes the EC faced difficulty situations in holding elections in militancy affected areas like Punjab, Assam, Jammu Kashmir, and also there are, I have mentioned three things over here. It is given on page number 71 of your book. You can check it from there. It also has faced the difficulty situation of having to postpone the election process midway in 1991 when ex-Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated during the campaign. Another example, in 2002, the Election Commission faced another critical situation when the Gujarat Assembly was dissolved and elections had to be conducted. In these particular cases, when this kind of situation arises in the country, the Election Commission decided to postpone elections or to repoll the elections or to the state assembly by few months. And this their decision is actually accepted by all. Even the Supreme Court upheld the decision of the Election Commission. So these are the remarkable work which is done by the Independent Election Commission. This picture is given on page number 71 of your book. As I told you that cartoons are very important, so that is why I have explained both the cartoons. In this, the question is written just below the picture. You can see that there is one leader who's standing and saying something. The Netaji is afraid of EC. Why do leaders fear the election commission? After learning about the work, the features and the functions of election commission, you can easily give the answer that leaders fear the EC because they can cancel the leader's right to participate in election because it is an independent body. Only when if they are found guilty. And the another question is this good for democracy? Yes, this is very good for democracy as it allows the parties or members to enter elections after proper filtration. So this is all for today. Thank you. In the last, this is your home task as I always give you some questions to do in your register. You will get most of the answers from your slide. Only one question, what is special majority? You are going to find it on your own. And one more question is for you. You will find the name of the current CEC and write in the comment section. Have a nice day everyone. Stay safe and study properly. Thank you.